Before the actual game starts, I want to talk about my motivation. I recently read an article in German newspapers where they discussed the fact that even high-paid managers and CEOs at British banks do not know how the operation environment will look like after the Brexit. This triggered me and was in the last place the motivation from a game with imperfect information. Now let's jump in the game. Welcome and hello everyone. We're gonna talk about the Brexit and I want to concentrate on financial passporting. But first of all, what is financial passporting? To operate as a bank in Europe, main divisions such as retailing and law have to be located at the European continent. Until now, Great Britain was a part of this system. James, working for a big British bank, is asked by his boss to analyze the situation. A bit of terminology. A hard Brexit is considered as a situation in which banks have to move to other locations such as Frankfurt. Soft Brexit would contain an extra arrangement for the banks in London. Nothing would change. Outcomes of James' analysis are that James expects a hard Brexit. 60% of other banks suggest a soft Brexit, and this information will be later useful for us. The possible actions for each bank are doing nothing and hoping for a soft Brexit, making non-binding cheap requests, or starting a big campaign, acquire real estate and hire new stuff in Europe. Basic utility of these actions depends on your beliefs about the Brexit, your type, and the actions of the other players. The underlying theory of utility is that A is best when you consider soft Brexit, B is second best, and C is worst. When you consider hard Brexit, we have to face the opposite utility distribution. Later you will get more information about the utility distribution, mainly James assumed herding or animal spirits, and a special cost structure for each pair of actions. To work with that information, James needs to formalize a little bit. First, James has to do preliminary work using game theory. We have two players and two possible independent types, HB and SB. As a bank, you know your own type, but you don't know the type of the others. The types are statistically independent, which is very important. Why is that important? Because we want to use as a framework a simple Bayesian game and pure strategies and no general Bayesian game. James' bank has 3 strategies, the other player has 9, depending on his type. It's a simultaneous static game, so we just use normal form matrices to identify Nash equilibria and pure strategies. After James calculated all 2 utility distribution, he merges them using expected values. After that, iterative elimination helps him to make this game easier, and in the last step, he has his Nash equilibrium using best response approach and a tiny trick. You should stop here to make the values clear for the next slides by approaching 3 rules. Both doing the exact same thing decreases the utility as demand rises and prices as a consequence. Utility decreases when doing the opposite, as you feel uncomfortable doing the opposite of everyone else. Animal Spirit by John Maynard Keynes. A, B and C are clearly ranked, but different for each type. After approaching these rules, James uses his distribution of types to merge them into one matrix. You can stop here and calculate it on your own. With this matrix, James can solve this game, but it looks weird and difficult. Using iterated elimination means that James can clearly see that A is never the best answer for him, so it just cuts out. After that, the game is much more easy and we can just use best answer approach to solve this game. Stop here to make the values clear. After all this work, James concludes that there are 3 Nash equilibria and pure strategies. But what should be done in the last place, as one Nash equilibrium is not better or worse than another one? A potential solution could provide the concept of Pareto superior Nash equilibria, as this concept could give us a coordination aspect. But there is no Nash equilibria which is Pareto superior. In the end, James knows that he should definitely invest, as B and C consists in investment to prepare the Brexit, but the amount of money is not 100% clear. Beyond that, we have learned that not just James will invest in this game, but everyone else as well, and it doesn't matter if he or she forecasts a soft or a hard Brexit. On top of that, we have learned that managers don't have to rely on their gut feelings if they are facing complicated and uncertain situations. Game theory gives us tools and concepts to analyze the situation, and with the right assumptions we can make reasonable forecasts and rational and right decisions. Thank you for your attention, and as always, until next time.